Hello, Loveland. I'm Mike Meldon, and this is your Loveland Weekly Podcast, brought to you by Gina Dubell-Smith, eXp Realty, and Stone Pillars Farm. Today, you'll hear my conversation with my friend Brian Maxson, owner of the Railway Barbershop right here in Loveland. We discuss Loveland U and his shop, covering the incredible opportunities Loveland U offers and the exciting changes happening at the barbershop. So stay tuned. Today is Wednesday, February 26th, 2025.
So Loveland U is a 10-week course that, the way I like to describe it to people, it's like flipping the hood up on the engine of Loveland and seeing what all the different parts do and how they all kind of work in concert with each other, like all the different departments, programs, and things that we offer here in Loveland. And I think it's a really good way for folks that live here in Loveland, taxpayers, to get a better understanding of how our municipality works and functions, and some of the areas where they could actually, jump in and volunteer and help out, because it does take, a lot. And there are a lot of great resources out there and a lot of things that some folks just don't know about, and you take the class and you'll start learning these things. I loved it. I took it in, 2001, I believe. I was the second class that went through. So 2001, 2002, somewhere in there.
So,
and I absolutely loved it.
21.
Was it 21? Yeah.
Not 2001, right?
No, 21. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was like, holy moly, those started a lot before.
No, my years are all messed up. No,
that's fine. That's okay. So that's awesome. So, yeah, I'll tell you, when I was on the committees, I was on a couple committees, everybody coming in was like, I just did Loveland U. I've never met anybody that went through the program that doesn't rave about it. So can you talk about a couple, let's talk about like the time commitment, and then a couple of the things that you get to do while you're on Loveland U.
So the time commitment, it meets once a week in the evenings. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it was from 7 to 9. So it's 2 hours per class. It's mostly hands-on. It's not just sitting around in a lecture hall, which is great. For example, with the Little Miami Conservancy, we went down to the river and we're doing river samples for mussels and things like that.
Very cool.
So you get your hands in there. And over the 10 weeks, each week you go to a different department or outfit here in the city. For example, like the theater is one that we visited, police department, fire department, the Little Miami Conservancy, the museum center. My favorites were, once we got into actual like city workings of like planning and zoning. That was really good. I really enjoyed public works and seeing what those guys do. Man, I'll tell you what, those guys work their asses off.
Oh, I know.
Most folks don't have a clue how much work these guys are putting in. I mean, it is intense, dude.
Yes.
So that was great. Then we do a mock council meeting that's really insightful, and you start to understand like Robert's rules and how a council meeting unfolds. And the students are the participants in the council, as far as council members, mayor, vice mayor, things like that. And then other students are proposing or arguing points for or against, a particular topic, a fictional topic, and we put fictional in air quotes because they're things that something similar has probably come up at some point, like years ago.
Sure.
So it's really, really insightful and neat to see how it all operates. And I think once people understand how the council meetings work, it makes it more inviting and more approachable for people to show up at these council meetings, because I think that's vital, is that as community members, we actually take part in and know what our council is doing, and we feel that we have a say, and we do, and that's the great part.
Yeah, a
You
lot of
just
people,
have to show up.
right. A lot of people don't realize that we are run a lot different than a lot of local communities, which is why it's funny. We are so community driven. I know when we first met, you came in here and bought uh, the barber shop. I mean, you were like, "Where can I help? What can I do?" I mean, you feel that when you come here is a sense of community, and I really believe that that is a lot driven because of the way our government is run with the committee system, with things like Loveland U and being open and welcoming things. And why don't you
Yeah.
talk about what you did? You went through Loveland U. Why don't you talk about what you did when you were after Loveland U? I know you served on a couple different things. I know you were helping Misty with the Frogman. Where did it
Yeah.
lead you?
So I'm on two different committees right now within the city. The first one is the Loveland Merchants Committee, and it's comprised of the business owners in the downtown Loveland area. And we meet with zoning and planning and find out about things that are up and coming in Loveland, things that may impact our business, and the city works directly with us to help mitigate any kind of loss we could see. That was a big part of with the bike trail improvements that went on with the bridge replacement. They had several meetings with us to kind of keep us in the loop as to what's going on, where the progress is, things like that. And so we could prepare for it. Another committee that I'm in that I absolutely love is the Events and Planning Committee. There's probably, I'd say, about 12 to 15 core volunteers, and we're the group that's responsible for planning all of the weekend events that the city of Loveland hosts. Like the Loveland Christmas tree lighting, the Return of the Frogman Festival that we put on, Hearts of
Hearts of
Fire.
Fire. Yeah, you guys are
That's a
killing it.
big one.
You
Yeah,
guys kill it. You guys make this a
and
great place to live, I'll tell you.
it's a small group of volunteers that do all this just for the love of doing it and loving our community and jumping in there.
Yep.
So, if there's other people out there, I mean, we're always looking to get other insights. If there's other people that have some really good ideas, it doesn't matter how wild they sound. Those are the places to, to let your voice be heard, as some of these committees.
Yeah.
And you'll find out about committees like that through the Loveland U class
Yes.
and
I
what
think
all is available.
it's so cool that they set up this. And like I said, I was accepted a couple years ago, and then I looked at the schedule, and at that point I had my daughter and two boys all at the sports age and practices every night. And one of those things, I'm definitely going to do it. I can't wait to do it. It's just one of those things where the commitment is there and I want to be able to give it 100%. I don't want to miss anything. Like I've talked to everybody that says it, you know, every part of it is important, and every part of it is means something. Everybody likes, like you liked a particular part. I talked to other people. Their other favorite part was the fire department and this and that.
Yeah,
It's just meaningful, and not other communities do this type of thing.
I know. That's what blows me away is that this is pretty much Loveland.
Yeah,
Like I think hands down, we have the tightest community here in the local region.
definitely.
As far as other municipalities and small township cities, I think we actually crush over here as far as how tight we all are.
Agreed. I agree.
And
Why don't you, Brian, and you're part of that, and in just your enthusiasm and just your personality adds to that. Why don't you talk a little bit about you coming here and your just whole experience moving with Loveland? Talk about your business and this and that. I love what
oh,
you've
it's
done with it with the arcade. So yeah, talk about all
oh,
that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in short, I've lived here in Loveland for about 14 or 15 years now. I originally grew up over in Westchester, so not too far. That was in the 80s and 90s when it was all still corn and cows over that way.
Right.
So, but I did spend a lot of time in Loveland with my mom and sister hitting the bike trail and all that stuff when that first opened. So I've always kind of had that connection there. And then in short, with the business, I was a barber in Merrimont for 18 years. left that shop when the time was right and opened my own Railway Barbershop in downtown Loveland. And it has just been absolute gangbusters since day one.
Yep.
I started by myself, and now we're up to myself and 3 other full-time barbers. And I'm finishing up a renovation project in the barbershop to enlarge our arcade space.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to have an exclusive pinball room in the back that'll be all premium pinball machines.
So I got a quick question though.
Yeah.
Is that for people just waiting on their cut?
Anybody can come in and play. It will have age restrictions on it.
Sure.
But yeah, anybody can pop in and play. And the age restrictions are pretty easy. It's, if it's kids 10 and under, a parent needs to be in there with you.
Sure.
And we just ask no kids under 5.
Yeah.
Because the dudes that are that young, I mean, they can't reach the buttons anyway. Then it's,
I
so
love it. It reminds me.
I do have a Frogger machine back there on free play for anybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's Loveland, dude. You got to have Frogger with the Frogman.
Heck yeah!
And I keep that on free play, so anybody can play Frogger. Beat on it. You're not going to break it. Have a good time.
That's this weekend is the other Frogman Festival. Actually, I don't know if you were going to check that out. But what I was going to say is, growing up, man, me and you are around the same age, and I think it's so cool you bring this little arcade back, because people don't realize, a lot of people don't, maybe the younger people don't, is that this is what arcades were. Sure, there were some bigger ones where it was a dedicated space, but what I remember were the small places where, I remember I had a place called Duber's. It's still there, actually, on the west side where I grew up. We'd ride our bike up. It was a gas station, and half the gas station became an arcade.
Yes.
You are doing exactly what was done in the 80s. It wasn't like a dedicated space. It was like part of a space that was something else a lot of the time.
Yeah. And I absolutely love it. And then as I've been getting into this more and more, now, fun fact, I'm a professional pinball player now.
There you go. That's awesome.
It doesn't. Now, let me clarify. That doesn't mean I'm any good.
But you're playing an awful lot.
I've competed in cash payout tournaments. Yes.
No way. That's phenomenal. I didn't know those existed. That's awesome.
We just had one this past Saturday that was like, man, I think it was like 70 something players.
Wow.
And it went from 10 in the morning until about 1 a.m.
Where was this?
It was, it's over in a place in Sharonville called Arcade Legacy.
Okay.
And that place is phenomenal. They've got over 100 pinball machines in there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Mike, I got to check
that. That's so cool.
There needs to be, you got to put together a guys night and get a bunch of dudes and go over there. And yeah, they've got a small bar in there. But it's nice because it's not a rowdy bar scene like you would find out in OTR.
Just chill.
It's gamers that drink beer on occasion,
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. Awesome. Anything you want to add? Anything about your business? Anything about Loveland U? Anything at all?
No, other than I just, I can't emphasize enough how important I think it is that people that have the time here in Loveland to get involved and find a spot to volunteer, especially when, not to get on a tangent, but when you see, a lot of complaining and things online, I generally don't comment on that stuff. But what I do is I look at the folks that are complaining. And what I've noticed, like we'll see in most cases, the folks that complain the most are the ones that do the least.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, the folks that are complaining, I have not seen them at a single council meeting.
Right.
I've never heard of them volunteering anywhere.
Right.
And really, as far as members of the community, you never hear their names.
Yep.
So I would say, instead of, if you have questions or complaints or grievances or what have you, rather than get on Facebook and start battering the city, show up to some council meetings and ask questions.
Nailed it.
You'll find with the information you're given, that will enlighten you quite a bit as to why the city does what it does. It's not random, and it's not, just we're going to roll the dice and make a choice. Like, it is, they spend a tremendous amount of time making decisions that also impact the council members.
Yep.
Because the men and women that are on council and, sitting there in chambers, they also are residents here. So they're not going to do anything that's going to make things difficult for themselves unnecessarily, right?
Right.
So decisions that they make will impact them as well. So I
agree. I think that's a great point to add. I think the thing is, when you get more involved, number one, you see a lot more of the complaints because you're like, whoa, okay. And so you're more empathetic of the complaints that are going to other places, right? I'm more empathetic when I'm on a committee and I'm getting complaints a lot about the things we're doing. I'm more empathetic now with council getting complaints. But the second thing is like you said, is we have an amazing city manager in Dave Kennedy, our mayor, everybody on council. Anybody they're not going to blow you off. This town will not blow you off. They will sit down and talk to you and work it out. So if you're just going to be a keyboard warrior, you can get a lot farther if you actually really want to get something accomplished by just communicating.
Absolutely. And yes, what you said about Dave Kennedy and also his assistant, Chris.
Yep.
That is absolutely right. And on more than one occasion, I've sent David an email just asking just a simple question about mechanics and how things work, in the city. And he said, "Hey, Brian, why don't you come over to my office and we'll just chat?" And just like no big deal, gives me 30 minutes to an hour of his time.
Yep.
Just to deep dive and explain to me so I understand the question that I asked. I understand the answer. And try that in other cities.
Yeah, exactly. You can't.
It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't. He's a treasure. Yep.
We have an amazing group of people there that, I would just like to see more folks being involved and being a part of the community of Loveland.
Hello, this is Elise Knapschafer with another Loveland High School Weekly Update. This week, winter sports are winding down, but we still have some exciting things left. First of all, the boys basketball team is going against Kings this week in playoffs on Tuesday. Also, academic quiz team has ECC conferences this week. Another thing going on at the high school is the furthering of education via job shadowing, ACT, or career prep. So on Tuesday, freshmen are job shadowing, juniors and sophomores are taking the ACT or the practice ACT, and seniors are speed mentoring at the Oasis to earn valuable business insight and job skills. That's about all for this week. Thank you.
Looking ahead in Loveland. The third annual Frogman Festival will be held on Saturday, March 1st through Sunday, March 2nd at the Oasis Conference Center right here in Loveland. If you'd like to learn more about this event, you can check out the podcast we did on it just last week. Doors open at 9:30 a.m. and are open until 6, and it has over 50 unique vendors that will be selling their arts, crafts, and merchandise in the large ballroom. Speakers will be presenting their research in a separate room, and I will see you there too. So make sure you stop by the Love Our Land table on Saturday and say hello. And before we go, don't forget to apply for Loveland U today. I'll have the link on the bottom of the bio here, so you can go in and apply there. I'll also have a link for the brochure that they put out, but like we said in the conversation, this is something that is really special here in Loveland, and I think it's perfect for anybody that wants to learn a little bit more about our city or become a little bit more involved. So take advantage of it. We have something truly special here in Loveland. Thank you for listening, and have a great week. This episode was produced and engineered by Mike Meldon right here in Loveland, and please note that the opinions expressed in the podcast do not necessarily represent the views of our sponsors or organization.